Happy Mother's Day, everybody.
Happy Mother's Day.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Good morning, you guys. You made it.
Take a look at the person sitting next to you. Say God loves you and I love you too.
God loves you and I love you too.
Feel the love and the unity.
Feel the love and the unity.
Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together.
We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Look at the person next to you.
Look at the person next to you.
Say, I recognize God in you.
Recognize the God in you.
Feel the love and the unity.
Feel the love and the unity.
Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Everyone's life. Every creed and color. Kinship unite. In honor of God and each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. Feel the love and the unity. Lift your voice, repeat after me. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love.
All right, good morning, everybody. How you doing out there in Livestream land? And good morning to everyone here.
Good morning.
Yes. So nice to have you with us today. My name is Reverend Michael McMorrow. I'm the spiritual director here at the Center for Spiritual Living. We're in Granada Hills, California, coming to you live from the North San Fernando Valley, where we welcome all who practice their beliefs in faith and love. And I'm joined here by our assistant minister, Reverend Nancy Woods. And we're going to get underway by just taking a deep, conscious breath together. And just release. And in that exhale, just allow ourselves to surrender to this eternal now moment as we come together for our call to service, which we call lighting the flames of faith. And we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. Now, fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here this morning. So as Reverend Nancy lights the first candle, it's for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the second candle for shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the third candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. The fourth candle we light for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the 5th candle for all forms of new thought. For all forms of Buddhism, honoring the 4 noble truths and the path of compassion. I don't know where that came from. We light the 6th candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the 7th candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the 8th candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the 9th candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the 10th candle we light for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space we hold for them here at our center, within our online community, and within our own hearts. And as Reverend Nancy lights the healing candle, this morning we remember our mothers and those who may have lost mothers this year. Please put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experience the healing flame of God's eternal love.
There is one flame that burns in our hearts. There is one light that shines through our love. We light this flame with faith. We light this flame with faith. We find this light within our own souls. There is one flame, one light within.
And in recognition of this divine flame that is within each and every one of us, we express our gratitude and appreciation for this opportunity to know and to understand that this spiritual presence, this light within, is what is guiding and directing us to this moment and to this experience and to all that unfolds and manifests in this time that we have together. As we recognize and understand that spirit, the divine presence that's light within each and every one of us, is that which brings forth the beauty, the joy, the peace, and the harmony of life. And in this recognition, we align ourselves with the belief and understanding that we truly are expressing life from this perfect flame of being. And as we become more and more aware of it and more in alignment with how it flows into expression, we feel and sense and know that it is what is blessing us moment by moment. And each blessing that is come forth from each and every event that unfolds and manifests itself. Therefore, we are grateful for the opportunity to be blessed by the beautiful music that comes into our homes and into our experience. We are blessed with the opportunity with the messages that are delivered by each and every person. We are grateful for our own being, for allowing us to open our hearts and our mind to appreciate and embrace the idea that this wondrous presence that is in all of us is that which is guiding and directing life itself. So in this energy of knowing this truth and appreciating that this presence is all that there is, we step into this experience, know that everything that unfolds in this hour is a wondrous event unfolding and manifesting. So with the consciousness of gratitude, I welcome each one to join me in knowing and appreciating this law of the universe that has said yes to this opportunity for all of us. So together we acknowledge it by saying, and so it is. Good morning. I've been doing a book study with Joel Goldsmith, and with the group, one of the things that we recognize is that Joel Goldsmith is one of those people that really just keeps reminding you that spirit is all that there is. But we also realize that all the teachers that have touched us as far as spiritual growth is concerned keeps telling us these same truths. And I was, as we were discussing it Tuesday, of how he keeps telling us our job is just to know that that this divine presence is all that there is. And we take all of these limited thinking ideas that we have associated with it in form or in expression, because existence itself is spirit. Therefore, any form and anything that's coming forth is spirit. And I'm saying this because he really reminds you that in order to step into a greater experience of wholeness in life itself, no matter how that is coming forth, whether it's in your work career, or whether it's in your relationship, or whether it's in your physical health, or whether it's in the creative expression of life, all of this is spirit coming into expression. And to the extent that we know this, the beauty and perfection of it expresses. And you know, and I'm reading this, and then I read this from home this morning, and I said, yes, they all are telling us that. And home says, I am immersed in perfection. And from John, he took this quote, all things were made by him. And he says, if everything good, enduring, and true comes from the God, the Creator, then we may be certain that no matter what the appearance is, the reality is always perfection. This is why Jesus said, we were not to judge by appearances, but to judge righteously, to let our knowledge be of the certainty of the divine presence at the center of everything. If this divine presence, which we are to recognize through everything, if it is this divine presence which we are to recognize through everything, for every apparent situation or condition that does not reflect this divine perfection, we are to supply a realization of its opposite. This spiritual awareness, this transcends and transfers into every difficulty and every difficult situation. It just seems so rich to recognize and understand that the spirit of life is forever given to us by giving through us. And each and everything that I feel is out of alignment, it's so many things that came up this week that made this such a rich thing. Because if I see somebody is ill, then I'm recognizing that it's my consciousness to come back into alignment. And I think he says it so beautifully when he does this prayer afterwards. He said, today, knowing that God, good, is alone and enduring and true, I recognize that in reality, I am a perfect being living under perfect conditions.
I acknowledge negative experiences for what they are, but at the same time, I affirm that there is no necessity for their continuation. I can let that thought go. I acknowledge and declare that the creator of all things is now manifesting as perfection and harmony in all my experiences. My world is recreated by my inner awareness of God in action in my life. It's such a powerful truth when we look at life from that place and knowing that God is all that there is. I mean, when he says it at first, it seems like, but then he said, just look at it. And realize when you look at it, you look through it, as Jesus said, look through that to the perfection that really is. And that's what our job is. Not only for our lives, but for all the lives around us. And that's what we do, and we become the healing energy of our experience and our environment through this process. These are wondrous truths that our whole church is devoted to teach and to commit to conveying in all ways, whether it's through the music that's been played, the words that have been said. It's tapping you on the shoulder. Said this perfection exists. Go for it. Thank you for letting me share that.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Mother's Day to everybody at home. Happy Mother's Day to our divine mother who had gazillions of children. She's very busy, and it is Jason's birthday in a few days. So I just wanted to say happy birthday to Jason.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Give me 1 second here. I want to make sure it sounds right. Because I love this song. This song has been one of my favorites for a long time. And we also haven't played it at all with anyone since before quarantine started. And it's very nice to be here. This is a song for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in my life as well. Okay, let's get groovy.
Just as lovely as she isn't she lovely, made from love? Isn't she pretty? Truly the angel's bed. Boy, I'm so happy we have been heaven blessed. I can't believe what God has done. Through us, he's given life to one. Isn't she lovely, made from love? Isn't she wonderful? Isn't she precious? Less than 1 minute on. I never thought through life we'd be making one just as lovely as she. And isn't she lovely? Made from love.
Thank you, guys. Happy Mother's Day.
Nice. Told you. Many blessings. Beautiful. Beautiful. And take that song into your heart. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. It's beautiful. So, will you join me in saying the declarations of principles? We believe in one universal spirit manifesting through all, natural and incarnated in us. We believe the universal spirit is personal too and reveals itself through everyone who recognizes its presence. We believe our faith operates upon a law of mind, which automatically manifests in our experience according to that faith. We believe in the unity of all life, the immortality of the individual soul forever expanding. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the givingness of life to all.
I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Yeah. I'm feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. My God is so good to me. Yeah, yeah. When I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Yeah, yeah. I'm feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. I'm feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. My God is so good to me. Here we go. My God is so. My God is so. My God is so good to me.
All right. A rousing rendition. Thank you very much. Jason and Ken, nicely done.
Thank you, thank you.
Nice playing there. You've been practicing on the piano.
Oh, thank you.
Nice bass work there. Yeah. No, it was really nice. All joshing aside, it was great. Thank you. All right, so happy Mother's Day out there for all of those of you out there who are mothers, and happy Mother's Day out there for all of you who have mothers. So, and today's talk title is Revolutionary Love. Revolutionary Love. We're staying with this theme this month of Holy, Holy Uprising. And I think it's appropriate that today's talk title is Revolutionary Love. So I can't, given that it's Mother's Day, because a mother's love is revolutionary love, at least for the mother, and maybe for the child as well. So I can't speak directly to that, of course, through direct experience, but I have spoken with, must be hundreds of moms over the years by now. And I can say unequivocally that there is a major shift in the way that you experience, that a mother, a woman, I guess, experiences and shares love when you have given birth. So you love your parents, you love your friends, you love your spouse, and then there's a whole another gear that's involved in loving a child that you've given birth to, especially that first child. That day when it hits you that this little being is dependent upon you for everything for the next 18 years and then some. So one day, you're a person, a pregnant woman. The next day, you're a mom. Now, luckily, we do not think on such things on that special night of conception. If we did, the population would probably be half of what it is today in the world. And happily, there are deep biological drivers at work here that can that move us beyond the analytical mind. And it makes a lot of sense if you stop to think about it. So as a species, humans are actually all of life is hardwired for reproduction. For reproduction is the agency in biology by which evolution takes place. So let's face it, there's a lot of mental bandwidth that's taken up also around this subject of reproduction, around those pursuits of courtship and love. And when children join the show, the whole game changes. It is truly a revolutionary moment for all concerned. So, here's some pictures, beautiful pictures of moms that I wanted to share with you. Yeah. So, when we are... So this idea that it's a revolutionary moment for all concerned, this idea of becoming a parent, and certainly for mothers. So it's worth considering that we come into this world that we come into this world completely dependent on another for our survival. And more than that, in order to move from survive to thrive, infants must be both loved and nurtured. There's good science on this now. It turns out that even this nurturing component has hormonal drivers within it. That's how important it is to us. That there are bonding hormones released at birth for the mother and child and the father as well to help ensure the survival of the species. And this is present in all mammals to some degree. But humans are mammals who are not only conscious, but they're conscious of being conscious. They not only think, but they think about thinking. Now, as adults, we all know this stuff. And still, even as adults, still we find that our relationships with our parents can sometimes be complicated for a variety of reasons. They have a history to them. Right? They have a definite beginning, and then there's this unfolding, and then they are whatever they are today. And they can be a bit complicated. And if you have a complicated relationship with your parent, or today with your mother, holidays like this one can be a dreaded reminder of kind of a deep-seated longing for this relationship to be different. Or maybe a regret that things could have been different. Now, either way, we must make our peace with it. And ideally, with a little time and perspective, we can even heal it. And that's where churches like this, New Thought churches, can really be helpful, because we do bring into the teaching, to uncover that shadow side of our relationships that with the light of the living Spirit shone upon it can enlighten it, right? So that we can move from from maybe just tolerating our relationships to really healing them, and just really standing in authentic regard for the other. So either way, with ideally with a little time and perspective, we can heal it. Now, healing relationships is a very interesting dynamic. I find it interesting to consider that it is our biology that may have got us here, but it is our consciousness that keeps us here, wherever we may find ourselves in relationship. It is our consciousness that navigates this world of form, probing for those streams of least resistance where trust, peace, harmony, and ultimately sustenance in all of its forms exist. And underneath it all, for the human being, a basic need for love and nurturing. Now, if you think on it a bit, when what's at stake here, to be loving and nurturing is really a big ask. I think it's a good thing that our biology brings us together and keeps us together, because if we allow the cognitive mind to have its way, we can talk our way in and out of all kinds of things. I think it is a big ask, particularly when you consider how demanding the endeavor of raising children can be. So it's rewarding, but often a thankless job, right? That if love and nurturing were not binding the whole thing together, it would be even more difficult to do. Now, perhaps this was the next big evolutionary leap for the human species. Not only to bond, but to love and nurture. So to nurture is different than love, yes? Perhaps this is the key to creating a world that works for everyone. Love and nurture. So Ernest Holmes wrote some time ago that the spiral of life is upward. Evolution carries us forward, not backward. That eternal and progressive expansion is the law, and there are no breaks in this continuity. It seems to me that our evolution is the result of unfolding consciousness of that which already is and needs to be but realized to become fact in everyday life. Or as Reverend Nancy said, that God is all there is. So for parents, there may be a hormonal component that keeps us engaged, even if they are relatively unskilled at being loving and or nurturing. It's probably the nurturing part, really. It's probably the nurturing part of child rearing that is missing in the more complex conflicts of parental relationships. And this affects not only the family unit, but society as well. So I wonder, does that lack of nurturing make us bullies? Does too much nurturing make us snowflakes? And who's to determine who's the bully and who's the snowflake? So I suspect that the love and nurturing of the other is the main thing, or the lack of it is the main thing that keeps us separate from one another. The only path is a path of healing. And the healing path must have within it loving and nurturing. And this is revolutionary love. And at its highest expression, right, all the spiritual avatars, but Jesus spoke to a mother's love. Yogananda spoke of his own mother's love in his life. The Dalai Lama speaks to it in his life. So many of the spiritual teachers use, Thich Nhat Hanh speaks to the love of the mother as the nurturer, as the source of unconditional love. And yet many of us do not have this experience of maternal love. You know, I'm one of those who was blessed that way. So there is a difference between love and nurturing. You know, nurturing takes time. And the world is a very busy place. And many families have more than one child in them. I'm the oldest of 8. Reverend Nancy comes from a whole gang of Thompsons as well. And that used to be the norm, that many of us do come from larger families. If you were born before 65, let's say. So nurturing takes time because you have to be there. You have to be there. Saying I love you as you walk out the door doesn't get it done. That there is an act of presence that is required. That nurturing requires a soft-heartedness that the world outside of the home does not really value. And that takes a resilient mentality to nurture. It takes a resilient and mature mentality to nurture, for it can be a thankless job. Though I'm actually thinking of you, Reverend Nancy, when I was writing these words as someone who worked as a school nurse, not having children yourself biologically, and yet having influenced, thousands of students. And then the children that they have raised, some of them have had children and are raising families of their own, that I've witnessed this, right? So when we practice nurture in a mature way, we're doing so free of expectation of love in return. It's that elusive notion of unconditional love. Now, this does not mean that children are not taught appreciation. They are not taught boundaries and so forth. For to teach appreciation and empathy through a nurturing consciousness is a lesson that will stick with someone throughout a lifetime. And we do not have to be parents to be a loving and nurturing person. So today, many people choose not to be parents. And they make great uncles, aunties, step-parents, coaches, teachers. In our spiritual communities, members can love and nurture each other just for the heck of it, just because it's needed. Teachers, coaches, janitors, the 7-Eleven guy, nurses, even contractors, workers of all stripes can be loving and nurturing in their approach to life. So in today's world, it is so good to see so many parents so present and conscious in the way they raise their kids. So I love, within our own spiritual community, I love seeing the parents of our own children, their children within our spiritual community. I love seeing them doing their thing, and they're really engaged with their kids, and their kids are really engaged with their parents. And then that translates to just being comfortable in their own skin, right? That we get to have this experience. So my child is now almost 40, right? And so it's great when kids are running around here doing their things, even if they're raising hell and running all over the place. I love it myself. I love the energy. I love watching our kids grow into adulthood. Right? So we've been around here long enough now to see them grow into adulthood as engaged people and anchored in a sense of knowing that it's all going to be okay. That's what I take from this. I take a sense that it's going to be okay, that our kids are far more awake, alert, and aware than I was at their age, and that there is a love revolution going on. There is an upwelling of recognition that unless we all prosper together, we shall stagnate and not move forward as a people, and this branch may in fact perish without it, because that's what happens in evolution. So the question is, do we have enough trust in their energy? Do we have enough trust in our youth and in their energy? Do they have enough trust in us as the older generation, as a source of wisdom? Is there enough trust? Is there enough love and nurturing to carry the day? Well, time will tell. So this is a quote from Reverend Howard Thurman, that a strange necessity has been laid upon me to devote my life to the central concern that transcends the walls that divide and would achieve in literal fact what is experienced as literal truth, that human life is one, and all men and women are members of one another. And this insight is spiritual, and it is the hard core of religious experience. So the power to transcend the wall of division. In order for this to happen, that we must recognize and make welcome a demonstration of the oneness of life that allows humanity in its myriad forms and expressions to awaken to its own spiritual magnificence in its own magnificent way. You know, as an individual, have we healed the shadow of mistrust and division within our own hearts? If so, is there enough in there? Is there enough overflow to help witness and raise the hearts of others in a loving and nurturing way, in a way that is free of agenda or expectation? As a spiritual community, is there enough love to welcome all who are on their spiritual path, who practice their beliefs in faith and love? So that means people who look and act a lot different than you and I may act. Are we open to that? Is there enough love? Further, is there enough love to midwife a spiritual community, a city, a state, a nation, a planet where all are loved and nurtured, and by extension, respected and cared for? So this poem by Octavia, forgot her last name. Octavia E. Butler. All that you touch. It's a great little reminder. All that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. And that ultimately the only lasting truth is change. Now, it's going to take a revolution of love of the highest order to make this manifest. So on this Mother's Day, we can know together then, may all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. So if you would just put your hand over your heart, take a deep breath, and release. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. One more time. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. So as Ernest Holmes says, love points the way. The law makes the way possible. So for this Mother's Day, I think Ken said it best when he said, yes, let us thank the Divine Mother, the mother of the gazillions, as I think you said. Yeah. Yes, the mother of the gazillions, that the feminine creative nature of life itself, the divine impulse of creativity, the eternal womb forever in expression as this life. That we allow ourselves to consider, to use this Mother's Day as a way to not only show appreciation and love for our own mother, but also to consider ways, regardless of gender, that we can mother and nurture and love our fellows with whom we share our life with. What are the ways in which we can soften in this expression? Can we live in a more open-hearted way that allows for the free expression of love and nurturing without care or hindrance of any kind? Let's think on this today and take whatever insights we may capture into our work week, work with that. And we can report in next week and see how it went.
One sec. This is another one for Mother's Day here. I'm singing this one today because this is one of the first times I remember singing a song that meant something to my mom. It happens to be like a punk ballad from the 90s or early 2000s, but that's okay. It's still a good song. Okay, here we go. Well, please don't cry. You know I'm leaving here tonight. Before I go, I want you to know that there will always be a light. And if the moon had to run away and all the stars didn't want to play, don't waste the sun on a rainy day. The wind will soon blow it all away, yeah. Oh, yeah. So many times I've planned to be much more than who I am. If I let you down, I will follow you around until you understand. And if the moon had to run away and all the stars didn't want to play, don't waste the sun on a rainy day. The wind will soon blow it all away, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Please don't cry. Although I leave you here this night, wherever I go, how far I don't know, but I will always be your light. And if the moon had to run away and all the stars didn't want to play, don't waste the sun on a rainy day. The wind will soon blow it all away. Yeah. Oh yeah. When the days all feel the same, don't feel the cold or wind or rain. Everything will be okay. We will meet again one day, and I will shine on for everyone. Shine on for everyone. When the stars all look the same, I don't feel the cold or wind or rain. Everything will be okay. We will meet again one day, 'cause I will shine on for everyone. Shine on for everyone. Thank you guys, thank you.
That song is called Shine On by a band named Jet.
Great. Thank you. That was a great song. And nicely done.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. So, excuse me, I'm on camera. All right. So now is our opportunity to practice generosity by many avenues and many streams. So first of all, just thank you for your continued giving through this pandemic period, and I appreciate the way you have adapted to the electronic modes, and of course grateful to get receive your gifts through the mail and the notes that you send in as well. So if this is your first time here, if you're on the website, the donate button is in orange. It's pretty much on every page as I understand it, and it'll take you to the PayPal portal that looks like this. And then if you're on your phone, you can hit donate, and then you'll see the PayPal portal will come up the same way. Just follow the instructions. It's pretty intuitive. And then if you're on the YouTube channel, this little icon right here, which is kind of hard to see, will take you again to PayPal. Or if you're on Facebook, you can hit the Facebook button. And of course, to mail in your gift of support to this online effort and the mission of this center, you can do so through the address shown there. And of course, the easiest way is just to use bill paid, and then you can take care of it when you're paying your other bills online. All right. So with that, the lads are going to take us into our offering song.
3, 4. receives through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit lives and breathes through me. Spirit gives through you. Spirit receives through you. Spirit lives and breathes through you. Spirit lives and breathes through you. Spirit gives through us. Spirit receives through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us. Spirit lives and breathes through us. Yeah.
Okay, taking a deep breath one more time. And on that exhale, just allowing ourselves to surrender to this notion of being grateful for all of life. And that in this gratitude and in the generosity of the individual, from which the consciousness of the individual, from which these gifts have been offered here this morning, by however way they get here, we recognize to know together that they heal, they prosper and bless not only the vision and mission of this Center for Spiritual Living and this online effort, but anyone who's connected to this center in any way. And so as the heart of this spiritual community, we are knowing this for all, that we extend this blessing to our friends in our community of Granada Hills, our state of California, our United States of America, all of its churches, temples, mosques, schools, universities, the people who attend them, the people who support them, that we know for our planet as well, that all of it is an expression of the divine heart in expression. And to the extent that we know this to be so, we see it manifest and demonstrate in all ways, great and small. This lifts our hearts and inspires us and propels us into ways of spiritual living that not only raise ourselves, but those around us. And that's a good thing. And together we acknowledge this by saying, and so it is. Amen. So once again, thank you, Jason Goldstein.
Thank you.
Yes, nice job today. Thank you, Ken, our music director. Thanks to Mike, who's working the video in the back, and Evan on sound. And, of course, the lovely Reverend Nancy Woods, who will now pray us out. Happy Mother's Day to all.
So it's with a consciousness of gratitude, I say thank you for this opportunity and for this experience. And know that we go forth from this experience realizing that the art and process of loving and nurturing ourselves helps us to cultivate that ability to do it with others. So in that awareness and in that understanding that we are the loving expressions of spirit, we take these truths and these understanding and these messages that have been delivered to us today, and we take them in our hearts and allow ourselves to step into an experience of knowing and understanding that God truly is all that there is, that the I am that we are continuously expressing is spirit saying yes to life in us, through us, and as us. And in this awareness takes us into an experience in which the power and the ability to live life fully and wholly is constantly within our grasp. And as I know each and every one of us, every person that is sitting before us in this audience, each and every one of us that are here today knows and understands that this spiritual truth, that God is all that there is a gift that we can accept at any time, at any moment, to step into a greater expression of living life fully. And we go forth from this moment and this experience, taking this truth into our hearts and allowing it to grow, and as we nurture and love it, letting the fruits of it blossom into all our experiences. This is our truth. This is the law of the universe saying yes to life. And together we acknowledge it and embrace it in full appreciation as we say together, and so it is.
Thank you very much. Please join us at home in singing the peace song. A 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3.
Peace that was meant to be, with God as the power, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment. Step I take, let this be my joyous vow to take